Hi, I'm Carrie Jacobson with Jacobson Family Law, where we keep the drama out of your divorce. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Today, we're going to be talking about, can you, as a parent, decide that you are going to waive child support on behalf of your child, or that you're not going to pay child support for the benefit of your child? Obviously, again, this, as always, not giving specific legal advice for your particular situation, but generally talking about concepts in Maryland. And again, we're only talking about those issues within Maryland and how the court addresses child support and whether or not you and your co-parent can agree not to accept child support or not to pay for child support. Please make sure, if you would like to leave a comment, we would love this to be interactive if at all possible. Leave a comment and we will try to respond to that. But I'm going to talk a little bit about whether or not this is something that you can do. So we come across this regularly with our mediation clients, or whether it's because we're working with a client and he or she has talked with their co-parent and this is something that they've discussed. And many times it's when a situation where parties have equal or nearly equal time sharing arrangement between themselves with regards to their kids. But it is necessary for parents to be mindful that it's truly up to the court whether or not it is that they will allow you to waive child support on behalf of your child, or whether they're going to implement it. So every jurisdiction is somewhat different. Some of them are more stringent than others. But many times the court's going to want to see the child support guidelines. And as many of you probably already know, when Maryland does have child support guidelines, and there's lots of different information that gets put into those child support guidelines, and you can find them online. And they were recently updated to increase the total combined income of parents. So when calculating child support in the child support guidelines, typically we're looking at gross monthly income for both parents. The guidelines are also looking at how much time each parent is having the kids overnight with them. So again, many times this comes up when there is a equal or nearly equal time sharing arrangement. The guidelines also look into or include information such as, is one parent paying work-related childcare for the children? Is one parent responsible for the children's health insurance premiums? All of those things factor into the child support. And so if the child support guidelines say that one parent is to pay the other parent, as an example, $1,500 per month, that may be a lot more challenging to present to a court if that parent is going to, in an agreement, waive their right to either receive that child support or their obligation to pay that child support. As opposed to if the child support guidelines say that one parent is supposed to pay the other parent $200 a month. That is more likely that a court would agree that it's acceptable for there to be a general charge of child support between the parents. Ultimately, it is the court that has a underlying duty to ensure that the children are receiving the financial support that they need from their parents. And that's the reason for the underlying child support obligation. Now, there are some times when parents will do something outside of a traditional payment of direct child support from one parent to the other. And sometimes that may look like maintaining a joint bank account for the sole purpose of paying for agreed upon expenses on behalf of the children. We see this often in our practice with our clients, where the parents will agree that a specified amount of money, let's say an example, $2,000, is going to be maintained into a bank account for the benefit of the children. And they outline in their agreement the agreed upon expenses that are going to be paid from that account. It could be anything from clothing to extracurricular activities, work-related childcare expenses, it could also be things such as field trips or pictures or other school-related expenses. And so those are the types of things that parents can agree to that will come out of that joint bank account. The other way that we have sometimes seen families structure child support as instead of a direct payment from one parent to the other is to say that one parent's going to be responsible for certain expenses. Maybe that is childcare or extracurriculars, while the other parent is going to be responsible for different expenses, maybe the out-of-pocket medical expenses, and those types of things. So there are ways that you and your co-parent can structure the child support that may not necessarily be a specific direct payment from one parent to the other, but be mindful that if it becomes a situation where this issue goes before a court, the court can intervene and say, they won't agree and that they will require child support to be paid from one parent to the other to ensure that the children are receiving the payment that they are entitled to. If you have other questions about how to structure your child support payments, or how you could structure an agreement between you and your co-parent related to child support, give us a call at 443-741-1147 or check us out on our website or on our social media channels, and we would be happy to help. Hope you have a great day.